Hello everybody and welcome back to Saxlingham. And look what we just bought. How amazing is this? Nah, I'm just kidding with you. We've leased it. So we are going to go give one of the weeding jobs a go. And because it's a fairly big field, or fairly big for us I should say, obviously these fields here I think on our right and left are bigger than where we're going, we've been offered to use this. So I thought, well, why not? You can see on the right hand side of the screen we have 5 contracts currently on the go. Our phone has been going absolutely mental for getting to try and get jobs done, and it's one of them because we're sort of investing our money in not in equipment but in the machinery side, like the actual engine sort of side of things. We are very much lacking in the likes of weeders. We do have a mowing contract going and some fertiliser contracts going. So I've got the worker on doing the fertiliser, because I think that's one of these jobs that I've done many a time. So it's quite good to set him off, and plus it means that I get to play around in this new fent. So the field we are doing is this one here, which luckily it gives us a fairly big area to turn into, so that we can, if we now look to unfold this behemoth, oh, we're going to hit that telegraph pole. That's ridiculously big. Oh, that's amazing. We'll have to get the GPS set up for this field. 27.4 metres. Just, that should do a job. So if we drop that down, and let's try somewhat. Oh, we'll have to be careful of that bush there, so I think we'll just avoid that corner a bit. But we can set that onto the GPS now, and that should get us going. It's only 7 miles an hour is the speed, so that's a bit slower than what I'd like to see, what I'd like to be doing. But look at that bonnet. Fendt, they're a very expensive brand, but a very good brand. But I think Fendt and Massey Ferguson's are the same. I think they're owned by the same company. But Massey Ferguson's are something that I've never had anything to do with really in real life. Everything I've used when I've been working on farms and this, that and other has been John Deere's and JCB's. And Claas, obviously. Claas Loadall was one of the Loadalls I used when I used to be a dryer man. But, anyways, we've only done 1%. Seriously? Well, this could be interesting. So I'm hoping today I should be getting a new monitor. So I think I've worked out, obviously when I was doing screenshots I was getting black borders on the top and the bottom of the screenshots, and so to rectify that I now go to an image resizer. Just go onto Google and find one on there. That's another job done. And that image resizer then gives me a full screen thumbnail. The only problem with giving me that full screen thumbnail is it stretches the image, so it doesn't look very good. And I didn't realise until the other day, because when I'm editing, I get a full picture of what I've recorded. It's only when I put it into YouTube then I get the black margins. And I didn't realise in the videos had it as well. So I think it's all down to the ratio of YouTube wants videos in a ratio of, is it 16:1 or something? I can't quite remember. And because I record on an ultra wide monitor, you don't get that. Mine's like 20 odd to 1 or whatever it is. So I have yesterday bought myself, I think it's the 32-inch by Alienware, which that should be, that's the right ratio. Obviously it's a bigger screen, but the right ratio to work with YouTube. So I'm hoping that once I get that and get it all set up, I'll have to obviously change my OBS recording settings, I'll change my Farm Sim settings as well. I'm hoping that that will then eradicate the black border. If it doesn't, then I don't know what to do. But anyways, that contract is we've done the whole of field 41, so we will take this back to the store and we can leave it there, because and it's a lovely tractor, lovely to use. I do like these. The only thing about track machines that sort of puts me slightly off them is they are very, very sensitive. Like if you do an overcorrection whilst driving, you are spinning. And I know when I used to use the skid steer, the Kubota skid steer, lovely machine, but you would, at times you'd be sat there and you wouldn't want to be doing anything, and then next thing you'd be spinning round and round in circles, which, is it Flow Rider, you spin my head right round. That's sort of what you felt like. So we can pull this up into their garage, their workshop, and then that now can be left for these. If we are allowed, and if we can get at some point, we'll definitely look at buying one of these. And I think Fendt will be a very, very good sort of machine to go down the route of. Let's just hop over here. We'll go see. It must be a casual day at work today. But right, let's go. We can go this way around. Having a drill like that would be phenomenal, and I think it could be very much a possibility. It'd be a horse, won't it? We'll have to see if they've got one of these for sale. The Maestro 2450 SV. But right, let's go jump back in the pickup and we'll head off home, because we're going to have to go and put the mowers onto the John Deere. Our worker seems to be getting on fairly well. After he's done that field, he's got one more to go and do, and then that'll be all the fertilisation jobs done for today. And then, like I say, we are going to leave this here. We'll have to go jump into the John Deere. I'm hoping that a seed drill comes, as direct seed drill. That Horsch one that we just saw, that would be absolutely brilliant. I'm hoping one of those comes up for sale in the near future, because then that it opens the doors for a lot more. I haven't just broke my pressure washer, have I? We'll have to see if that runs next time we use it. Yeah, because these sowing jobs, it'll be very, very handy. If it does do solid fertiliser, it saves a job with the sprayer, because I know the only sprayers we can afford at the minute, they would be quite slow. I think they're about 7 miles an hour spray, unless we were to go for one of the bigger ones. But obviously we can't afford anything like that. We're nowhere near being able to afford anything like that. But right, let's take this out, and we need to go and find field 20. I'm loving the fact we're getting repeat business. Field 20, we fertilised it a month ago, and now we seem to be back in to cut it. So it's nice to know that we must be doing a very, very good job. So just around the corner here, and I think it's because we closed the gate. I think that's what they must be most happy about. But this rear mower, it will probably be worth upgrading that at some point to a proper, to add an extra thing out off to the left hand side, so it'll be a butterfly mower. That, or it should replace the whole system completely, and get something that's way bigger, and that will also windrow if we need to. We would still need to buy a windrow though, because when you're doing hay, which I'm sure we'll be doing at some point, you need it. Well, you need a separate windrow, because obviously you're going to have to cut to spread, then ted it, and then windrow it up. So let's get on to steering assist 2. This is going to be a fairly big field, I think. So let's turn them both on, drop them down. Like so, and then we'll go get this field cut. I do love this John Deere. So I think definitely a new mower setup would be very handy, but I would say in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's the most important thing for us to be going for, but definitely something that we should look to get in the near future when finances sort of permit us to. But like I said, combine's the big one. That's the big one we're going for. And with the combine, we're going to also need another trailer, I believe. So let's just close this gate. So we need combine header, which will be the biggest one, the trailer, and the header trailer, another Bailey trailer, which we're going to go for exactly the same one that we've got now, so that we can utilise all our tractors, because we'll have to look for seasonal staff, so when we come to harvest, there's someone to lead for us, would be very, very handy. Once we've got all that, I think a drill would be handy, and more land. I also want to, when we get a chance again, this is very, very bumpy, I want to start with some beef cattle, to make sure that we're breeding them and getting them going as soon as possible. But there'll be a huge emphasis on genetics, making sure that we have sort of the biggest and the healthiest to maximise our profits. And it'll be something quite nice, just tick you over in the background, because I'm not a big fan of having to go milk the cows 3 times a day. That would be enough to put me off them entirely. But right, we're going to get this back to the yard, and hopefully our workers shouldn't be too far away. So we'll just reverse this in, and this is always the hardest, to try and get this into the corner, sort of out the road as best we can. So that can go there. Now if we pull out, and then it's a reverse back in, we can then drop the front mower off. And I forgot to close the door. The aircon must not be working at its best. So right, let's drop that off, and then we can reverse this back over to here. like so. Now if we get out, I want to have a look at moving all this other stuff over to next door, because it's no good that it's here mixing with all the other stuff. So sprayer, there's another thing. It's never ending when you start thinking about it, of all the stuff that you need just to run what you'd like to think is, well, one, a successful contracting business, but two, running your own farm, which is where in the grand scheme of things, it's where we would like to end up, is having our own sort of massive farm. Plenty of lads with us, but whether that becomes a reality will be a different matter. Right, so I'm thinking bags of fertiliser on one side, bags of lime on the other, so we can't confuse them at all. That means that we will then look to put herbicide and liquid fertiliser in here as well, and then I think it should be putting seed in the middle. So we will just very quickly get on and get all this moved. We do have a few boxes of potatoes which I need to get rid of them, but anyways we'll quickly get on and get this moved over. Well, that's annoying. I saw that he'd gone a different way and I was rather hoping that I would beat him, but he must know, well, one, he's a lot quicker, but he must know a faster route than what we've just used then. But anyways, we have just spent an absolute fortune on gear, but I think it's the right call to do. Whilst we've got the money, we might as well stock up, and it means we can get our shed all organised, so that at least, well, for a long time now, we should be able to. We've got everything we need, so there's now no cost. Well, there is a cost, obviously, that we've bought it, but there's now no cost every time we go to do something, because we've already spent that money. But yeah, I don't know whether we'll get a lot of this onto the tractor, but that's why I just thought we might as well make use of the pickup and the trailer, just in case, even if it's just to put onto the trailer, put our IVCs on. That could be the big benefit there, and then get all big bags onto tractor and trailer. This will probably be a lot easier in cab. So let's go to get these first 4. That's going to be the big thing as well, getting 4 at a time. Like so. And then I'm hoping I've positioned this just right where I can slide in next to them and get these put onto. I can go further right. This is where a little forklift will be good, because you can move it to left, move your pallet tines left to right. Right, let's put these down there. Let's get another 4, and then we'll have to look at the fert and lime. But I think that fertiliser in itself was £15,000. Seed wasn't much cheaper, but like with anything, you got to spend the money. You got to spend the money to be able to make the money. That is for sure. Right, let's just reverse back. And then yeah, I think that's definitely going to be the case. Put all our big bags onto here, which what I am doing with the big bags by tilting the tines right back is not correct at all, because by doing that, if the bags slide down your tines, you can end up ripping the handles on the bags, and there is nothing worse when you do that. I don't know whether we're going to get all these bags on, you know. It may be needing sort of a second lift. But at least with the lime, we know there's 2,000 litres in each bag, so we've got double the amount of lime than anything else. But if we can get the fert on top, that would be highly beneficial. Let's just go steady onto here. I'll have to, I've noticed that you can put, I'm not the most tech savvy, but I've noticed that you can put posts on your videos, and this is what I was doing the other day. We have a cat load all. Well, it's not a load all, obviously load alls are JCB, but we have a cat, the Caterpillar version. I was in one of them the other day doing a load of work, and I'll have to, at some point, I've got a load of topping to do in one of our John Deere tractors. We may get 2 bags. We'll get 2 bags of fert put onto the end. It's just whether we can lift up and put any bags of fertiliser right on the very, very top. If we can do that, that will be very good. Let's just have a look. We'll go to pick 4 up. Just widen my tires slightly. Helm Pro. Yara's what we use a lot of. So let's just see whether this is going to be a feasible option or not. Will you stay up there? No, I think that's a very, very bad idea, and I think I've lost 1 bag. Oh no, it's all going to pot. I've still got 1 bag there though, but we are going to have to. I need to work out how I'm going to get these on. I think we're going to have to come back and get the fertiliser a bit later on. So if we just put... Oh, hold on. We could... If we try to push these up, maybe put these up a little bit, we may be able to get at least 4 of these on. What's happening here? Let's tilt the tires. Right, let's get this bag over here, and we'll try to push that on the back there. So I know I've made this an absolute nightmare for myself because I've moved all the bags now on the trailer by trying to butt up the other ones, that now nothing will be in line. So when I come to take them all off, it'll only be, if I'm lucky, I'll be able to get 2 at a time instead of 4. But we have moved these over so we can get 3 in a line. So if we just put these now down nice and steady like that, we now have everything on board. So that'll be us done now with this forklift. We'll have to get ourselves back to our yard, and then we can unload and get it all into our workshop, which I may not bore you with that. We'll just have to see. But first things first, we need to get back to the yard. So we've got the herbicide out the back. Let's now just look at getting the fertiliser, and then we'll have all our pallets to do as well. We should really have started at the back there, but anyways. So in here, herbicides going to the right, obviously fertiliser to the left, lime to the left, and then I think it's going to be solid fertiliser to the right, and then we're going to have to go seed in the middle. So I'm just trying to split everything up as much as I can, so that we won't have, we won't keep taking this, you can get problems of where you're filling up with the wrong thing when you're not wanting to. So let's just keep on with this, and then these are a bit harder to see what we're doing because it's a bit lower. But there's another one. and then the other, so this is fertiliser, and then the other IVC we have in there is herbicide. So we'll have to pull the car and trailer out the way, and then like I say, we'll be keeping all our equipment in the other side, and then this can just be a fertiliser, well, a chemical store, fertiliser store, however you want to call it. This can hold everything else that we need. Finally, the last bag. That's taken a bit of time. I'm just hoping in the recording that comes across as alright, because I know we've got these metal bars on the screen, so I don't know whether that will impact the recording, and or because I'm doing it all in first person, whether that impacts it or not. But we'll just have to see. You'll have to let me know in the comments below if whether to do that again or not, but I should get a decent enough idea when I go to edit to see what I think it looks like. Right, so there it is. I did fill up our fertiliser spreader whilst it was here. I thought that made a lot of sense. Right, let's take this and we can park this back round the corner. But yeah, so I filled up the fertiliser spreader because I could see us doing some more fertilisation. And then I think just to finish the episode, I want to nip off in the pickup and go have a look at how our crops are getting on. So I'm just going to leave that there. Just make sure we put the tines down. Turn it off. Let's go get the John Deere now. So I'll just put this in here. Somewhat neat and tidy. Ideally this wants to go in the corner, I would say, where our other Bailey trailer is, because we're going to have to get, obviously if we buy another trailer, there will be 3 trailers than us, so we're going to have to try and make sure that there's we keep this place nice and tidy before we can get ourselves another shed. So let's just hop in here. I'll have to go around the other side because I never closed the doors. So let's drive round here. We'll close these doors, and then on our way back I just want to check the our fields. That's a nice little storeroom now building up, isn't it? Or at least I certainly think so. So let's hop back into here. We'll go around the side, and then I think in the next month we've still got some contracts to collect in, so there's still some money to come in. In the next month we may have a big grass cutting session. We'll probably cut all this grass, and we may even do the cow pasture, cut that, and also cut our grass field that we drilled. So what's this saying? I think this will be ready next month. I think we'll be buying ourselves a new combine. That's looking very promising. Right, now let's have a drive up here. We should be able to sneak through here. I just don't want to scratch my pickup on these bushes. So you just need to be careful. Right, we've got past that one. We're alright there. This is where we may need to just grab a chainsaw or a hedge cutter at some point and cut these back. But I think we've done alright there. This is the only problem, is we should have gone round because we can't get to this next field through here. But that looks like, oh, I've just destroyed a bit of crop. Looks like that can't be far off either, our canola. because obviously this field here on our left, this will be, to be in with the crop rotation, this will be canola next time, and then this canola up here, this will be wheat. So let's just have a look and see how this is doing. Right, so this has got a little while before it's ready. This is nowhere near going to be ready, which is completely fine, because it means that we can get that barley cut if that's ready to go. So that's this is very good news, very exciting, that hopefully next month we'll be able to buy ourselves a brand new combine, which will give us scope to sort of continuously sort of improve and get better, and sort of open the doors for bigger things. And it also means that we can look at, if we start looking at getting some of this grass cut, we can get that turned into silage and then start using, if we, no cars coming, and then we can start using this field here, which, like I say, we'll cut it, and then by the time the grass off it ferments, we then should be ready to look at maybe getting some cattle. So let's park up here, and for a last job, we're collecting some of our money. So there's 8,000, a 6,000, and a 3,000. So that now brings us back up to 359, which it's not as good as where we were. We were almost at 400,000, but we now have all our commodities: fertilizer, seed, lime, and herbicide. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've all liked and enjoyed the video, and we will see you again in the next one, when hopefully we're buying a new combine. Bye for now.